Would I be the jerk for rejecting a hair bleaching demand for a wedding? Update: help needed with wedding dilemma. I have a unique predicament that I shared with my boyfriend, and he suggested seeking help on this subreddit. Let me explain the situation.
I, a 25-year-old woman named, am part of my friend Zoe's bridal party for her wedding in December 2024.
A few days ago, Zoe gathered all of us together to discuss the details like hair, makeup, and dresses for the Winter Wonderland theme wedding. At first, everything seemed reasonable. Zoe wanted us to wear blue dresses in different shades, forming a gradient with silver accents. She also mentioned snowflake jewelry, and even suggested using blue contacts for those without blue eyes. Although the contacts struck me as a bit odd, I didn't think much of it since I've worn color contacts before for Halloween. However, the issue arose when Zoe requested that all of us dye our hair. Some members of the bridal party, including Zoe herself, already had dyed ends, but she wanted to go platinum blonde for the wedding. The remaining members include two brunettes, including myself, a strawberry blonde, whom Zoe felt wasn't blonde enough, and a redhead. Unlike the others, I have never dyed or bleached my hair. Though I've considered it, I've always been unsure of what I want, and I dislike the idea of spending money on something I might end up regretting. Additionally, my mom used to flat iron my hair nearly every day from ages 5 to 13, which caused significant damage, making my hair thinner than it used to be. I know that bleaching can also harm your hair, and I don't feel comfortable taking that risk at this time. When I informed Zoe that I couldn't dye my hair, she initially brushed it off, claiming that my hair appeared healthy and reassured me that she would cover the cost of the bleaching treatment for all of us. However, I firmly reiterated my decline, expressing my gratitude but explaining my reasons for being unable to comply. I even suggested wearing a wig as an alternative. Unfortunately, Zoe rejected the idea, claiming wigs would look cheap and unnatural. She wanted us to have our real hair bleached to avoid substituting it with something of lesser quality. After a lengthy back and forth, Zoe told me to go home and reflect on how I would be ruining her vision, as well as the wedding photos and video that she and her fiancé were putting together for his grandparents, who wouldn't be able to attend due to their travel limitations from Argentina. Feeling apologetic, I paid for my meal and left. Now I'm in a dilemma. I don't want to dye my hair, but I also don't want to spoil Zoe's dream day. I genuinely believe I'm not being unreasonable or wrong here, but I need some perspective. Am I missing something? Edit: to clarify the expectations, on a hair color scale from 1 to 10, I am a 6 to 7 in darkness, while the other brunette member is a 5. Zoe wants all 6 of us to be at a 9 to 10, except she herself wants to be platinum. Currently, she's at a 10. Also, I don't have dark eyes, mine are green, although 2 of the other girls have light brown eyes. Edit 2: wow, after waking up to this thread being locked and an overwhelming number of comments, I'm glad I don't have work today. Firstly, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has offered help, advice, and support during these past confusing 24 hours. I plan to meet up with Zoe in a few days to address this situation and hopefully find a compromise that doesn't involve bleach. If you still have any further thoughts or advice, I'll make sure to keep a copy of this post on my profile. I'll also attempt to filter the comments for quick answers and respond to some questions. Thanks again for all your assistance. Update: would I be the jerk for rejecting a hair bleaching demand for a wedding? Updated post: yesterday, I had a conversation with Zoe to address the concerns raised in the comments of my original post. It turns out that she had seen the post herself after someone sent her a TikTok video featuring it. Zoe expressed feeling embarrassed about the situation being made public online, even though our identities remained anonymous. I apologized for involving her story without discussing it with a wider circle of friends, limiting the perspective to a smaller group. Zoe acknowledged that she understood the intention behind seeking advice and admitted that she didn't realize the extent of the impact her request had on dark hair or the potential damage it could cause. Looking back, she now recognizes her lack of knowledge and feels remorseful. We reconciled, understanding that our clash resulted from differing perspectives rather than her being intentionally hurtful. Following our conversation, Zoe decided to scrap the idea of everyone wearing wigs or bleaching their hair blonde. I convinced her that having a variety of hair colors, including dark and red, would enhance the beauty of her winter-themed bridal party. We also decided to abandon the idea of wearing colored contact lenses, though individuals may choose to wear them if they wish. The bright blue lenses didn't fit our overall vision as well as we'd initially thought. Regarding the grandparents, Zoe clarified that Frank's family in Argentina doesn't have German ancestry, so there is no connection to any controversial historical references. She expressed horror and embarrassment about the unintended associations that emerged and realized her mistake in considering Elsa from Frozen rather than associations with the Aryan nation or Nazis. Zoe has genuinely apologized to everyone in the bridal party for the stress caused and informed them of the changes. She is excited for us to come up with new hair and makeup looks. And to go dress shopping. As for the groomsmen, I don't know if they are being held to the same standard, but honestly, I'm just relieved that this ordeal has come to an end and didn't feel the need to inquire further. Zoe and I have resolved our differences, and things are back on track. I apologize if this update wasn't the dramatic story some were expecting. Edit 101: I debated whether or not to disclose this information because it weighs heavily on me, but it's essential to share. Unfortunately, Zoe and Frank's wedding has been called off, and their engagement has been broken. It's uncertain whether they will continue their relationship. I heard this news from Zoe through text since she met with Frank to discuss the situation after he returned from a work trip. Surprisingly, 3 of his groomsmen, including his best man, had already begun bleaching their hair. 2 of them, who were naturally lighter haired, had successful results, but the best man named Brandon now has orange hair. It's not ideal, and the process was done at home while drinking, resulting in a patchy outcome and fried hair. Frank decided that because half of his groomsmen had already bleached their hair and given Brandon's mishap, the rest of the bridal party, and he specifically singled me out, needed to suck it the F up and proceed with bleaching. This disagreement escalated into an argument, which led Zoe to call off the wedding, and ultimately Frank ended the engagement. Zoe is staying with her parents, and they haven't been in contact since. I feel terrible about the whole situation. While I understand the importance of boundaries and autonomy, I can't help but wonder if everything could have been avoided if I hadn't made such a fuss and complied with the initial request.